Hello, guys.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Marsha, and this is Andre. And today we have our special guest, Miss Kayandri Williams, a Jamaican nurse living and working in a village in Tanzania. So, hi, Kayandri. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Marsha. How are you?
I'm doing fine. So we want to learn a little bit about your upbringing in Jamaica. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Thank you.
Yeah, bringing in Jamaica. Well, I was born in Kingston, Jamaica. I don't know if you know Victoria Jubilee Hospital. I was
Yes,
born
ma'am.
there, and of course, um, I was given away by my mom to my grandmom and then passed on to my aunt in a place called Rock River in Clarendon. So I was raised
Okay.
by my young auntie who was like just 13 years older than I was.
Well,
Yes. And I believe I was raised pretty well to be raised by a youngster.
hmm
um, I had many cousins and my grandfather, country life, country setting, where we were supposed to be poor, but I never knew that I was poor as a child until
Wonderful.
I got older because I feel like I had everything, was well fed.
hmm
Um, yeah. And went to high school. I passed common entrance, so I left the country, went into the city, a place called Maypen. It's like a city in comparison to
Yeah, I
Rock
know
River.
Maypen.
Uh, yes, and went to um, a school that nobody wanted to be associated with at the time, a school called, well, it was Maypen Secondary, and then it
Okay.
transitioned to Maypen Comprehensive, then Central High School. It was the
Okay.
war school in Maypen, Clarendon, the war school. For people who know Clarendon, they'll tell you. And I ended up becoming, a member of the Schools Challenge quiz team, which was the first ever Schools Challenge quiz team. We made it on
Okay.
TV, and uh, that was when the image of the school,
Shifted
changed.
a
And
bit.
then,
Yeah.
long story short, went to college. No, I worked at my high school for 1 year, used my money, then went to college in Case, Portland.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. So I went and I did natural science, and, I was supposed to get an associate degree, and I had my first boyfriend then, take up boyfriend on my head and never pass, finish up my associate. And then I ended up having to at 21 years old, 20 going on 21, after never having a degree or anything. I realized I wasted my time and my life, and just the expectations that people had of me became pressuring. So I
hmm
managed to go to UE, and then I did nursing. And by that time, I felt like, I was growing and more mature. So I
Mm-hmm.
finished, completed on time. Yeah, that's about
Okay.
it.
Well, thank you for sharing that wonderful intro.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much for sharing that. So, what was it like for you while at UWI? Because you did nursing at UWI, so like, what was it like for you going to the University of the West Indies? Like, what was it like for you there?
Going to the University of the West Indies. Well, first I lived on hall, and to be honest, I left home with $20,000. Um, so $20,000, and it was like, for me at the time, it was like a life and death, because I'm like, I can't stay here and turn
hmm
worthless. All my friends, everybody move on with them life, and I don't have nothing at 21. In Jamaica, how we put that pressure on ourselves. So
Exactly.
I went into I went into Kingston. Really, I always apply for school. Always, I'm always doing that. Apply for school overseas. Apply for school everywhere. UWI got accepted for the nursing program, but at the time it was like 5,000. What was it? 5,000 US. I think
Okay.
when I converted it, it was like $500,000 per year for the school fee at that time. And
Wow.
yo, I never had the money, but I say, I'm going. A lot of people had
Yeah.
done project for JLP and they had owed me money. So I go in with a lot of people owing me money, but nothing concrete. And I accept
Mm-hmm.
and I went on hall because I know I never had money to pay rent if I go to town. So what I did, I applied for the hall and I told them a bag of lies, just a lot of stuff like, I can play this if you take me on your
Yeah.
hall. But at the time I was saying to myself, at that time I was saying to myself, like, yo, at least they won't ask me for rent a month. So I can draw them out and, live and try to find money to go to school at the time. So,
Mm-hmm.
anyways, long story short, they buy my story and take me onto the hall, and I played every sport. I keep telling people that when I was at UWI, I played every sport, jack of all trades, master of none, because I wanted the money. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted the money to, pay for my school fees. So really, UWI for my undergrad, it was really more about securing my school fee more so than school. I was a full-time nursing student. I worked like 3 jobs.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it was really a struggle, but I got so much, lessons, so much. It was more, I keep telling people, for UWI, it was more so a lifelong experience
Life
versus
lesson.
just like an
Yeah.
education. I learned everything at UWI, how to hustle, how to struggle, and just how to survive. And for my family, they never expected that I would have really completed UWI. When I
Really.
left UWI, yeah, when I left UWI, and then I left UWI, people just became inspired because I really went in with $20,000. I used 7,000 out of it to print ID and everything. I remember clearly, even though it's a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
7,000, $13,000 left, and I used the $13,000 to print letters, like print out my entire life story, write stuff. And I think Bruce Golding was the prime minister in Jamaica at
Oh,
the time. So anytime I hear like him a come under the undercraft, I run with one of my letter because I print them out and have a box of letter in my room.
Yeah.
My classmate, my roommate at the time said she thought it was some computer thing I come to school to do because she never computer writing letters, typing out my entire life story. I say, if if this letter could just reach to somebody, because I really
The
never
right
have no money. I
person.
come in, people owe me, but nothing coming through. Long story short, sent my letter to all over the place, only in Jamaica. And at the end of my third year, which would have been like, it's 3 solid years for nurses. At the
Mm-hmm.
end of no, second year, a new management took over UWI
mm-hmm.
and decided that they were gonna deregister everyone. And I was a part of that. I owed like $500,000 at the
Wow.
time. And I feel like at that time I was so close to God, in a sense that I was very spiritual and
Mm.
all that. And I was like, God, how could you carry me this far though? You carry me a second year. Why you never let me
Definitely.
drop out a first
Yeah.
year?
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, something magical happened in that time, and I realized somebody had sent one of my letter to the UE Washington DC branch over, of course, in America.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, "Hey, Andrew, we got your letter. Someone sent your letter here to us, and we're gonna give you a scholarship of like what it was 4,000 something dollars." I still have the letter. I walk everywhere with this
Wow.
letter.
Mm.
I should
Wow.
laminate it. I got the scholarship, and
Yeah.
that's how I paid my school
Definitely.
fee and
Definitely.
went home with a degree. And I only went to school with $20,000.
Wow.
20,000
Like
Jamaican, clarify.
Jamaican dollars.
Which is less,
Like
which is less than,
20,000 Jamaican dollar.
which is less
just
than
just
200
just
US.
hearing that. Yeah. Just hearing that is just
Exactly.
amazing. Like, and just a simple fact that you didn't give up. Like you left with faith. I'm saying you left home with faith with 20 grand, and like you didn't give up and you kept on pushing. And like you said, just a simple fact that knowing that God wouldn't take you that far to just leave you right there and not completing is just amazing hearing that, for sure, for sure.
Definitely, definitely. And one other thing, I remember there was a nurse. I don't know if you know her, Andre, because you went to UT. There
Mhm.
was a nurse at the time. Her name is Latika Lynch. We call her Olive.
Yes, 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 I remember. Mhm.
So I started to call her name on, but yeah, I remember, there was a time when, she was going to be registered, and she was like, never tell her this story that she was there like crying, like, Kendra, yo, they're gonna deregister. Your internet connection is unstable. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, we're hearing
Yes,
you.
yes,
We're
Is
hearing
it still clear?
you. Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. So at that time, she was crying because I think she had owed 19,000, and she was like, yo, where's she gonna get it from? But I had owed half a
Can you
million
imagine?
dollar. And
Can you imagine?
yeah, and then so she's saying she crying. I saw her crying, but by that time I knew where all the little stipend and little money, little help that students could get at UE was. But for me, with half a million, there was no hope. I thought, I'm like,
Yeah.
might as well I tell her where I know the little monies are. So I'm saying, yo, girl, I sent her across
Hmm.
somewhere over the undercraft. I don't remember where, but somewhere out that side. And I told her where she could go and get at least $20,000. And she
Okay.
went, well, I was telling her, like, girl, you're not going to get deregistered. I know a girl who owe $500,000, and that girl is still here, still I go to school. I never tell her
Yeah.
that it was.
And that girl is you, right?
Ah,
Yes, and she went out there and she come back and she hugged me like, Kendra, thank you so much. And and
Thank
I'm
you.
like, yo, I'm gonna get deregistered. But I share this because I realize as
You know, your blessings, man, your blessings.
I
Mhm.
progress in life is that sometimes when you do good, even when you see no way for yourself,
true.
do good
Facts.
anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd be so surprised
Well, yes,
how
exactly.
things can work out for you.
So, Kendra, after you graduated from UWI, did you work anytime in Jamaica?
Yeah, I worked briefly for a couple of years at KPH.
Mm,
I worked briefly at KPH, and then I migrated to US,
mm-hmm.
and then worked in the US from 2014 until, and now I'm here in Tanzania.
Can you repeat that you worked from 2014 until when?
Until like no 2020. So I recently moved to Tanzania.
Oh, so now
Okay.
you're in Tanzania, which is East Africa, right?
E- East Africa, yes.
So, what
Hmm.
prompted the move to East Africa, and how has it been like, or what
That's
has it been like?
that
Ah.
should be interesting. Hmm.
W- well, what prompted the move? Firstly, at the time when I was working as a nurse, a registered nurse, and I'm gonna be very blunt and frank and honest with you guys. At that time when I was working as a registered nurse in Jamaica, um, I think they were paying us $50,000. Like we were the lowest with a bachelor's degree, lowest paying,
And for the type of
like
job.
at least I'm sure science degree holders at the time. fifty
Hmm.
thousand dollar with a rent of like 30,000, almost 30,000 at the
Wow.
time, and with responsibilities and everything. And then I had owed a student loan for keys for the
Okay.
college that I had
Oh,
went gone to.
prior.
Yes, so I'm like, yo, possible.